light shot out from the sacred family's black gold rank elder's eyes, expressing killing intents. The fire surrounding them exploded, as a mysterious and powerful resistance awakened from the darkness. A few people from the Snowwind family and Divine families exploded and turned into a bloody mist when they got close to the sacred family's black gold rank elders. A huge shadow appeared in the sky, covering it like a curtain. A pair of bloodthirsty pupils overlooked the entire area. A black shadow looked like a sharp blade swept past them. Whoosh, PSH, fresh blood splashed around. In that instant, hundreds of experts were killed. I want all of you to die. The leading elder, Shen Yuan, furiously roared, looking very insane. Yesho and the others managed to dodge the attack, but couldn't help the fear lingering in their hearts. This shadow devil technique is simply too frightening, even they were almost killed by it. However, the shadow devil's claw still followed behind them, making them have no other choice but to dodge. Damn it! They were eventually forced to use the shadow devil technique, cursed Chen Long, as he battled Liu Jian. He was beyond furious now. By being forced to use the shadow devil technique given to them by the Dark Guild, is simply announcing that they betrayed Glory City. This will definitely attract the hostility and attacks from the other families. He is being held up by Liu Jian and couldn't leave his position, making him unable to support the sacred family or chasing after Lali. His cultivation is obviously much stronger than Liu Jian's, but Liu Jian's physical strength is simply too powerful. No matter what kind of attack he uses, he can't kill Liu Jian, only cause superficial wounds. Your opponent is me, yet you still have the time to concern about others. Liu Jian boldly growled, pressing his black flame sword towards Shenlong. It was another fierce battle. The black gold rank elders of the sacred family were forced to use the shadow devil technique, which allowed them to feel a little more at ease from the surrounded attacks for the time being. However, there were terrible consequences. Originally, only the Snowwind family, Divine family, Wind family, and a few other families attacked the sacred family. The other experts were just standing by the sidelines. The moment they saw the black gold rank elders of the sacred family using the shadow devil technique, they made their decision that instant. The sacred family really did betray Glory City and joined the Dark Guild. The sacred family betrayed Glory City. Surround them. Don't let them escape. Knowing that the sacred family betrayed them, everyone's eyes turned red, and were filled with killing intent. Betrayal is not tolerated. The Dark Guild has done many evils, creating irreconcilable vengeances with all the other families. The other families all have members that died from the hands of the Dark Guild. Seeing the people surround them, the black gold rank elders of the sacred family revealed cold smiles. If these people still dare to charge at them after they summon the shadow devil, they're basically seeking death. Black shadows streaked across the sky like sharp claws, instantly killing hundreds of people from the other families. The few black gold rank elders slowly floated into the air. Their bodies are shrouded in dreadful darkness and lumps of fire that lingered around them. With just a shadow devil technique, you dare to be so arrogant in my city lord's mansion. Yeshiva coldly snorted as he flew to one of the walls in the main hall. The wall is engraved with strange inscription patterns. Both of Yeshiva's hands quickly formed a seal, then slammed his palms onto the main hall's wall. Since we dared to gather you to the city lord's mansion itself, do you think we don't have any preparations? The main hall started to release a dazzling light. A white-armored giant god slowly stood in the main hall. It's shrouded in a blizzard and was wielding the giant ice axe with both of its hands. As it stood in the endless sky, it looked like some type of superior light was being emitted from him. The eyes of the giant god looked like they were made from bronze. The eyes stared at the shadow devil in the sky. The terrifying light instantly made everyone tighten their necks, causing them to feel a little suffocated. This is the Snowwind spiritual god. Witnessing this scene, the faces of the few elders from the sacred
Just be quick about it.
Instead, so they all pulled back and looked from afar. The power of the snow wind spiritual
What did
god
he
is a little
do?
stronger than the shadow devil. The sky-filled blizzard rolled towards the shadow devil. The icy temperature was causing the shadow devil's body to go stiff as it became covered with layers of ice. Roar. The snow wind spiritual god was like an ancient deity. The lower half of its body was within the blizzard. Its physique was large and sturdy, like broken. It made slashing movements with its ice axe, creating twisting and exhausting blades. Under the attacks of the snow wind spiritual god, the shadow devil issued a miserable shriek as it was slowly pushed back. The faces of the black gold rank elders were all very unsightly. They originally thought that the shadow devil that they summoned would be enough to suppress the other experts from the other families. However, they never expected Yeshiu to summon the guardian of the snow wind family, the snow wind spiritual god. The frightening power of the snow wind spiritual god completely suppresses the shadow devil. How many years has it been before they all thought that the snow wind spiritual god was only a legend? When Nile saw the mountain-like snow wind spiritual god, he held his step and said, I was wondering why Yeshiu didn't make any preparations earlier and start the 10,000 demonic beast array the moment the battle began. They were already prepared. The snow wind family really aren't simple. Nile can still vaguely recall what happened in his previous life when Glory City was destroyed. He once saw the huge snow wind spiritual god from afar. Except in his previous life, even though the snow wind spiritual god is a powerful existence, it was still engulfed by the endless demon beast horde. The reason why Yeshiu did not start the 10,000 demonic beast array is because he chose the snow wind spiritual god instead. They probably intended to keep the array as the last, unrevealed trump card, since the snow wind spiritual god was already exposed. That being the case, there's no need to activate the 10,000 demonic beast array for the time being. They want to first see how this will go before they decide to use the array. The snow wind spiritual god is enough to suppress everyone in the sacred family. The shadow devil miserably shrieked as its endless amount of blades clawed towards the snow wind spiritual god. The snow wind spiritual god let out a deep roar, and its huge palm reached towards the shadow devil's blades. Ding. 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 The black blades attacked the palm of the snow wind spiritual god. However, all of the attacks sounded as though they were striking steel, unable to cause any damage to the deity at all. Bang. The snow wind spiritual god caught the shadow devil, and waves of snow wind energy went rolling towards it. The body of the shadow devil quickly froze up as it continued to struggle to break free from the deity's grasp and was issuing miserable shriek as it turned into a block of ice. The black gold rank elders of the sacred family all spat out blood and percent life. The shadow devil was summoned at the price of their soul force, so after the shadow devil was turned into ice, their soul force also suffered an impact. Yeshiu, standing below the snow wind spiritual god, boldly snorted, just a puny shadow devil, how can it shake my snow wind family? You still dare to be so presumptuous in the territory of my snow wind family. Every time they summon the snow wind spiritual god, they must use a large amount of sacred spiritual rocks. The stockpile of sacred spiritual rocks that is left in the snow wind family is only sufficient to summon the snow wind spiritual god 3 times. They have to be very careful in every summon they make. However, since they have the 10,000 demonic beast array, the snow wind family now has another trump card. Which is also the reason why Yeshiu could be so decisive in summoning the snow wind spiritual god. With the shadow devil being defeated by such a powerful existence like the snow wind spiritual god, the people from the sacred family were doomed to death. The snow wind spiritual god bent down, extended its huge palm and made a grab for the black gold rank elders of the sacred family. If they are caught by the snow wind spiritual god, these elders from the sacred family will instantly be frozen and shattered into pieces. Shen Hong, seeing the scene, felt his heart rumbling. Every time he tried to break away, he would be hindered by Duan Jian. He couldn't break away, no matter what he tried. If he were there, even if they couldn't defeat the snow wind spiritual god, at least the shadow devil wouldn't lose so easily and Yeshiu's side wouldn't be able to have such an easy win. Shen Hong's face went dark. Why hasn't that guy come yet? The sacred family wouldn't have been abandoned by the Dark Guild.
Choose your next move.
Nile looked
Very
into the distance.
carefully.
The foundation of the sacred family is still lacking compared to the Snowwind family. It seems that there is no need for him to activate the 10,000 demonic beast array. Just when the huge palm of the Snowwind spiritual god was about to grab the black gold rank elders, a black light suddenly shrouded them. Boom. The Snowwind spiritual god's palm collided against the black light and was grounded, unable to proceed any further. The Snowwind family really does have a deep foundation. This Snowwind spiritual god does have decent strength, said a man floating in the air in front of the Snowwind spiritual god with a pair of black light wings on his back. Although his voice is faint and soft, everyone present was able to clearly hear him. Seeing the youth floating in the air, Yeshiva's gaze went slightly narrow. We have not met before. You are Dark Guild, Shak, the youth laughed, currently holding the position as the law enforcement elder of the Dark Guild. My master has already entered into a secluded training, so the Dark Guild is managed by Longsha and me for now. Once my master comes back from his training, he will show you guys an unimaginable pinnacle realm. All of the Snowwind family's resistance will be pointless. As long as the Snowwind family is willing to bow before my Dark Guild, we will grant the Snowwind family a chance, and let you guys become one of Dark Guild's branches. Conceited nonsense. Yeshiva coldly snorted, talk to the Snowwind spiritual god. The Snowwind spiritual god reached for Shak. Shak's body suddenly bursted with black light, forming a black sphere. When the Snowwind spiritual god's palm landed on the black sphere and used its strength to crush it, ice instantly covered the sphere. However, no matter how much strength the Snowwind spiritual god used, it wasn't able to break this black sphere. Seeing this scene, Yeshiva frowned. A defense that even the Snowwind spiritual god couldn't break through, this Shak evidently has the strength of a legend rank. A legend rank expert actually claims to be a servant. Then, exactly how powerful is this master? Exterminating the branch of my Dark Guild and even upturning the sacred family's nest, it seems like the Snowwind family truly is harder to deal with than I imagined. However, my offer stands. If the Snowwind family is willing to bow down, there is still a chance of survival. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Shak coldly snorted, slowly raising his right hand towards the Snowwind spiritual god. He let out a low growl, and blazing black flames burst out from his palm that confronted the Snowwind spiritual god's biting frost. The flame slowly took the upper hand, and was slowly suppressing the Snowwind spiritual god. Just a puny Snowwind spiritual god, yet you still dare to confront me. Shak let out a cold snort as he stood in midair. His body emitted an unrivaled, frightening aura. Even the Snowwind spiritual god is unable to withstand him. This Shak is actually strong enough to such a pinnacle degree. Then, what about the Dark Guild's true master? What kind of terrifying existence is that? At this moment, the experts from the various families were utterly shocked. Shak's powerful strength is intimidating. One must know that the spiritual god is someone that even Morgan and Mo couldn't fight against, and he already reached the pinnacle of legend rank. Shak is also legend existence. With that extraordinary strength of his, destroying Glory City might not even be a problem. Yeshiva knitted his brows. Although he could sense that something was not right, he couldn't tell what it was. The strength that this floating Shak has exhibited is indeed terrifying. Since Shak has such terrifying strength, adding on a demon lord, why didn't they directly destroy Glory City? What is the reason? While watching this scene, the corner of Shenham's mouth instantly had a rampant smile. He has personally witnessed Shak's strength before, and knows that he's already a legend rank existence. Adding on to Longsha and the demon lord, there are 3 legend rank experts. Once the demon lord comes out from his seclusion, the Snowwind family is doomed to be destroyed. This is also the reason why the Sacred family joined the Dark Guild. Over the accumulation of the long years, the Dark Guild's strength was already not something that Glory City can confront. The Dark Guild still has that fear, since Yanemo is still alive. However, he is currently old. It was already determined that Glory City will fall into the Dark Guild's hands. Seeing this scene, in contrary to everyone else, Nile is feared. He's at the pinnacle of black gold rank. At most, he's only on PAR with his own. He actually pretends to be at the pinnacle of legend rank. Although those treasures he's got are quite decent, but in front of me, you're still too inexperienced. Nile could see through the facade in just one look. Whether the demon lord himself has legend rank strength or is even in the legend rank realm, Nile is not sure. However, this Shak in front of him doesn't have the strength of someone that reached the pinnacle of legend rank. With those treasures, he can advance and retreat at least, unless I activate the array. Nile looked towards the 10,000 demonic beast array. Only this 10,000 demonic beast array can get Shak to stay behind. demonic array is the trump card of the Snowwind family. In the views of Yeshu and the others, if they can avoid using the array, then that'd be for the best. However, Niley doesn't have the same view as them. If one trump card is revealed, then he'll just have to prepare a few more. Very quickly, Niley reached the 10,000 demonic beast array and started to form the seals. Gumisha suppressed the Snowwind spiritual god and looked at the experts of Glory City from high up. This caused these experts to be pessimistic. Without Lord Yahamo here, who else can be the opponent of this Gumisha in Glory City? Suddenly, a voice came. Look. Over there. It's the City Lord. The City Lord has returned. After Yezone exterminated the Dark Guild's branch and upturned the nest of the Sacred Family, he immediately rushed back without stopping. However, the moment he returned, he saw the scene of Gumisha suppressing the Snowwind spiritual god. The Dark Guild's experts have also taken action. He never imagined that the experts of the Dark Guild would actually come to Glory City. Even the Snowwind spiritual god has been suppressed. The strength of this Gumisha has indeed reached into a realm that's even unimaginable for him. For the Dark Guild to send such an expert, are they thinking of destroying Glory City? With Yezone's current strength, even he couldn't be the opponent of Gumisha. If he goes up, it'll be the same as meeting death. However, he can't retreat now. He's the war god of Glory City, the pillar of all of Glory City's citizens. If he retreats, then wouldn't everyone in Glory City be the slaves of the Dark Guild? Scenes flashed past Yezone's mind, Yezine, Niley, Yeshu and many others. His gaze gradually become firm. To protect the safety of my Glory City, even in death, I, Yezone, will not have regrets. The moment Yezone faced this opponent, who was several times stronger than himself, his eyes were very firm. He took a step into the air in front of him. Bang! A soul force ripple extended beneath his foot. Chapter 185 Chapter 185, Gumisha Boom. 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 A current of powerful soul force was set off at the spot that Yezone had his feet on, and was spreading out. Beneath Yezone's feet, an intense blizzard was formed. Yezone was standing on the air, as he slowly walked over to Gumisha. This is the traceless Snowwind technique of the Snowwind family. Those able to execute such a technique are at least legend rank experts. Yezone actually reached legend rank. Gumisha's pupils abruptly shrank as Yezone approached. Yezone knows that Gumisha's strength is most likely at the pinnacle of legend rank. However, even when facing such a powerful opponent, his heart didn't have a trace of fear within. A fierce fighting intent searched the surrounding area. Right now, Yezone entered into a very profound realm. As he's walking, he feels a mysterious resonance with the heaven and earth. He came to realize that this mysterious state is actually legend rank. He never thought that he, himself, would actually step into legend rank at this moment. While they watched Yezone step into the sky, the experts from the other families were all stunned for a moment. Thereafter, they burst out with frantic cheers. Facing such an expert like Gumisha, they were practically in despair. Now, Yezone is like a war god as he stood in front of them. Yezone is a powerful god in their hearts, holding the fate of all of them. Violators of my Glory City, done. Look at Yezone's back figure. Niley was slightly stunned. He never thought that Yezone would actually step into legend rank at this time. Sure enough, he really is the guardian of Glory City. When facing a powerful opponent, the resolute in Yezone's heart caused him to undergo a transformation, becoming a legend rank expert. Yezone gathered his powerful fighting intent and pointed his sword at Gumisha. That terrifying energy looked like it wanted to tear through the sky. Seeing Yezone's sword attack, Gumisha let out a cold snort. Even if you have reached legend rank, you're still not my opponent. In an instant, dozens of fist-sized black spheres appeared around him. The black spheres suddenly burst forth with blazing light and shot towards Yezone. Since Yezone is now in that mysterious, profound realm, he saw the dozens of black spheres shooting towards him like meteors, and slashed with his sword. Frost Flash Sword Aura. The sword in Yezone's hand turned into dozens of sword-after images as it slashed towards the dozens of black spheres. Boom. 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 When the aura collided with the black spheres, a series of terrifying explosions was heard. Yezone originally thought that even with his strength, it's impossible to be the opponent of Gumisha, which is why he pressed forward and burst forth with power exceeding his own physique. However, from these black spheres, Yezone could feel that his opponent, strength of a legend rank pinnacle expert. Shaq holdly snorted and a blazing flame shot out from his palm. At this moment, Yezone saw that there was something hidden in Shaq's palm. This thing is able to shoot out blazing dragon flames. Ice and flames subdues each other in the laws of nature, not to mention dragon flames. No wonder he could suppress the snow wind spiritual god. Tisk tisk, it's not fun at all over here, I'll take my leave first. Shaq knows that if he were to continue fighting with Yezone, he won't be Yezone's opponent. Shaq was suddenly hidden in a flash, and after a moment, he already flew more than a few hundred meters. Both of his hands quickly formed a seal and a black vortex started to appear beside the black gold rank experts of the sacred family. Stop him! Yeshiu coldly snorted. A group of black gold rank experts hurriedly rushed over. Whoosh! 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 A few of the sacred family's black gold rank experts stepped into the black vortex and vanished. However, there are two black gold rank experts couldn't make it in time and were killed by Yeshiu and the others. Trying to leave? It won't be so easy. Yezone coldly snorted, waving his sword as he chased after Shaq. This glory city is a place where I can come and leave as I wish. You think you can stop me? Shaq laughed, quickly forming a seal in his hand, creating a second spatial door of darkness. Seeing this scene, Shenhong's face changed. If Shaq leaves, then he'll be doomed. Immediately, he used all of his strength to push Duan Jian away with his palm and rushed towards Shaq's direction to try entering into the spatial door of darkness and leave with Shaq. Wait for me. Shenhong's heart was burning with anxiety. He doesn't want to die here. Not good. Too late. Yezone's face changed. If Shaq is really able to come and go as he wished, then he, as the city lord, wouldn't have any face-to-face others. Thump. 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 The black spheres bombarded Yezone, obstructing his path. The snowy spiritual god also stretched its arm, trying to grab Shaq. However, everything is too late. No one is able to stop Shaq. At this moment, Nile, who is in the center of the 10,000 demonic beast array, suddenly opened his eyes and calmly snorted, trying to You still haven't asked if I agree to it. Just when Shaq was about to open the spatial door of darkness, the surrounding air froze. Three phantom-like creatures slowly appeared by the side. Seeing the three creatures, Shaq's face changed. He never thought that the Nether Phantom would appear here. Nether Phantoms don't have any powerful combat abilities, they're only at the cultivation of a one-star black gold rank. However, they do have a special ability, which is the locking of space. The slightly open spatial door of darkness that was summoned by Shaq instantly froze. Damn it! Shaq looked at the surroundings, and saw those weird pillars in the city lord's mansion that were in a big cluster, releasing an aura that made others feel uneasy. He has heard about this array before. It truly is extraordinary. After all, it killed the abyss demon. However, he has never tasted the true light of this array before. Nile was floating in the center of the array, like a demonic god. Without the spatial door of darkness, it will be a little difficult for Shaq to escape. After all, Yezone and the snow wind spiritual god are still staring at him. When he saw that Shaq's spatial door of darkness did not open, Shenhong's face changed. They are like a turtle in a jar now. Even without the spatial door of darkness, you guys won't be able to make me stay. I'll let you guys experience the bloodthirsty devil that my master granted me. Shaq laughed wildly. His body suddenly became more solid and was turning into a demonic shape. A powerful dark aura came out from his body. Yezone, you have to consider this carefully. If you want to make me stay, you guys will have to pay a horrible price. So what if you reached legend rank? If I were to take action, a dozen or two black gold rank experts is still possible. Shaq only laughed. If you let today's matter go, then everyone can mind their own business. If you insist on taking action, then you'll have to see the consequences. Looking at the experts from the other families, Yezone became a little hesitant. The bloodthirsty devil is one of the most secretive demon spirits. They are very hard to pursue. If Shaq decided to massacre the experts from the other families, it will probably be hard for him to stop. What consequences? I'll have a look at what consequences there will be. Nile's voice boomed like thunder under the enhancement of the 10,000 demonic array. Shaq coldly snorted and looked into the void. I'm talking to Yezone. What are you, to actually butt in? You don't know me. he said, activating the 10,000 demonic beast array. In that instant, the sky turned dark, Glory City became shrouded in endless darkness. The surrounding aura suddenly became heavy as thousands of black gold rank demon spirits appeared in the air, forming into a mysterious array. Just a tenth of the strength will be sufficient to kill Guishan. Suddenly, a huge boom was heard. Multiple mountain-like shadowy images were heading towards Guishan. When he felt that terrible pressure heading towards him, Guishan tried to escape. However, he realized that an unrivaled powerful aura was locked onto him. He let out a cold snort, and smashed both of his fists into the sky, trying to break the mountain-like shadowy images. Bang! The energy exploded, but Guishan's fists did not even dent the mountain-like shadowy images. They didn't even shake as they continued to head towards Guishan. Boom! When that frightening power got to Guishan, he felt as though they were trying to rupture his internals. His face turned ghastly pale as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He never expected the mountain-like shadowy images would have such terrifying strength. This power isn't something he can fight against. Even though he merged with the bloodthirsty devil, he's still not their opponent. Even a legend rank expert would be suppressed by these mountain-like shadowy images. Guishan is already lucky to not have his body rupture in that instant. If it wasn't for the fact that the physique of a devil is different from an ordinary creature, he would have already died. Guishan was utterly thrown into dismay. This is the first time he felt the threat of death. Originally, the bloodthirsty devil demon spirit, Guishan felt that even a legend rank expert might not be able to do anything to him and he could come and go as he wishes. But at this very moment, he realized that even with the bloodthirsty devil, he can't withstand a single blow in front of this horrifying array. Not only Guishan, even Yezo and the rest were astonished. This is the first time that they witnessed the power of the 10,000 demonic beast array's true life. They never imagined that this array would be so powerful. The arrogant Guishan was actually heavily injured by this 10,000 demonic beast array after a single strike and was unable to move. Shenhong, who was running towards Guishan, was also utterly shocked when he saw this scene. He never thought that even Guishan would be suppressed by the array. He suddenly felt his mind go blank. Originally, in his heart, he felt that Guishan was at the pinnacle of legend rank, an unparalleled existence. However, he now realized that he was cheated. He had forked out his sacred family and got such an ending in exchange. Shenhong simply wanted to spit out blood. What he is not aware of is that according to the track in the previous life, the sacred family was indeed able to stand on top of Glory City and enter into the Abyss prison realm. However, with Naile's appearance in this life, everything changed. Chapter 186 Chapter 186, Spiritual Constellation Technique. Boom. 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 The mountain-like shadowy images bombarded Guishan to the ground. Guishan could feel that each attack became several times stronger than the one before it. This terrible power isn't something that Guishan can withstand with his physique. Even though he has the devil's physique, the power gradually reached the limit to what he could handle. Guishan can feel that the muscles in his arm were constantly being torn apart. If this continues, his body would crumble under the power. This is the power of the 10,000 demonic beast array. A powerful array made with 10,000 black gold rank demon spirits. Naile is only using a tenth of its power and it's already enough to kill Guishan. Seeing this scene, Shenhong was scared out of his wits. He turned into a streak of light and tried to escape. At this moment, he only wants to escape and leave Glory City. How could Yezone overlook Shenhong? Seeing Shenhong running away miserably, he sighed. If he has to be like this now, then why did he make that decision before? The sword in his hand turned into a streak of light and shot towards the escaping Shenhong. Since you chose to betray us, we can't contain you anymore. Yezone, who is a legend rank existence now, isn't what Shenhong can withstand. Whoosh. The sword pierced through Shenhong's chest. Shenhong unbelievably looked at the sword that pierced through his chest. He never expected that he would have such an ending. His great ambition and everything else vanished into thin air like a puff of smoke. It turns out that all of this was nothing more than a dream. He died. The centuries-old sacred family has fallen in his hands. Shenhong sighed, slowly closing his eyes. Could it be that all of his actions were wrong? Perhaps this is his ending. The energy gradually left his body as it fell from the sky. The other patriarchs witnessed Shenhong's fall. Only Guishan was left, painfully enduring the attack. He tried tried to break the mountain like shadowy images that were suppressing his body. However, no matter how much he tried, the mountain like shadowy images were filled with an unparalleled power, making him unable to move a single step. By killing Cootie Shack, Glory City will be safer. Niley coldly snorted as he increased the power of the 10,000 demonic beast array. Once this power crashes down, Cootie Shack will definitely die. Suddenly, a boom was heard, the mountain-like shadowy images shattered. A figure quickly flew towards Cootie Shack, grabbed him and soared into the sky. He's actually able to break the 1,000-layer mountain of the 10,000 demonic beast array. This guy probably has, at least, the strength of a legend rank. Niley focused his eyes and saw a man wearing shallow white robes. It's a very handsome youth. Within the Dark Guild, there are only 2 people with the strength above Cootie Shack. He never thought that another one would appear. When Cootie Shack was about to be saved, Yezo coldly snorted, trying to leave. That won't be so easy. He quickly merged with the snow wind great ape demon spirit, and created an inexhaustible blizzard that rolled towards the youth. At the same time, the snow wind spiritual god, who has been on standby, also furiously roared and made a grab for the white-cloaked youth. When Cootie Shack opened his dazed eyes, he saw the white-cloaked youth and let out a breath of relief. Long Shack, why have you come? The white-cloaked youth did not answer, but had his deep eyes staring at the center of the 10,000 demonic beast array. The corner of his mouth leaked a profound smile. Aside from Yaemo, there's another interesting guy. I believe that the Demon Lord will definitely be interested in this person. Seeing Yezo and the Snow Wind spiritual god charging up, the white-cloaked youth swept his sleeve and 2 mysterious rocks fell out. The 2 mysterious rocks created a formless energy and suddenly exploded. The shock wave through the Snow Wind spiritual god a few steps back, making its body sway to keep balance. Yezo, however, was sent flying, and was spitting a mouthful of blood. No one knew what these 2 stones were, but they have such powerful energy. The white-cloaked youth remained calm as he looked at Niley's direction and asked, I wonder, what's your name? How many times have you undergone spiritual constellation? In my experience, there is no need to cling to this battle. If you're interested, you can make a trip to my Dark Guild and meet the Demon Lord with me. We will look forward to your visit. Hearing the words spiritual constellation, Niley, standing in the center of 10,000 demonic beast array, and his eyelids twitched. The spiritual constellation technique is a very sinister secret technique. In order for it to work, an innumerable amount of children are needed as sacrifices so you can implant your own soul into the body of a single child, gaining new life. As long as the soul doesn't get destroyed, they can live for several lifetimes. Of course, there's lots of side effects in using it. The soul will suffer from the burning pain, and the new body will be damaged very quickly. Since a kid like Niley possesses unimaginable knowledge and is able to lay down such a huge array like the 10,000 demonic beast array, in the views of this white-cloaked youth, he must have definitely used the spiritual constellation technique, otherwise, he wouldn't be able to achieve so much. However, what he doesn't know is that Niley came back to life because of the temporal demon spirit book, not because of the spiritual constellation secret technique. The spiritual constellation technique is very mysterious. Aside from the few who have heard of it, there's basically no one else that knows of its existence. After a human reaches the pinnacle of legend rank, they would find it very hard for their cultivation to progress any further. Their body would start to deteriorate and would often reach a state where they are unable to do any more breakthroughs. Countless experts have died with this regret. As a result, one extraordinary genius thought of a method to surpass this limit, which is the spiritual constellation technique, to retain the soul and occupy a new body. Thereafter, he'll be able to cultivate from the start. Every time he reaches the pinnacle of legend rank, and finds out he's unable to make any more breakthroughs, and his body started to deteriorate, he would use the spiritual constellation technique to try again. That way, he'll be able to get closer and closer to the breakthrough. The successive Dark Guild's leaders have self-proclaimed to be the Demon Lord. Could it be that this Demon Lord also used the spiritual constellation technique? This white-cloaked youth should be the number 2 of the Dark Guild, Long Shack. Niley definitely can't let this fella get away, otherwise, there will be no end to trouble. The strength of this white-cloaked youth should have reached at least legend rank. Want to have a chat with me? Sure. However, you have to handle one of my strikes to see if you're qualified. Niley calmly said as he rapidly started the 10,000 demonic beast array. He wasn't in a rush this time, so he's going to push the power of the 10,000 demonic beast array to the maximum. The 10,000 demonic beast array quickly rotated, and tens of thousands of black gold rank demon spirits appeared in the sky. Their energies quickly gathered to one point. Haha, sure. An apex expert speaks with his strength. The white-cloaked youth proudly smiled, concentrating his attention to the sky. He has absolute confidence in his strength. He will soon reach the pinnacle of legend rank. Why would he be afraid of this array? The white-cloaked youth proudly stood his ground, his clothes fluttering in the wind. If one paid close attention, his face is fair, his black eyes have a deep luster, those thick brows, tall nose, and delicate lips were showing his elegance and grace. If no one knew about his identity and based him on his looks alone, it'd be enough to charm countless girls. Niley coldly stared at him. If he saw him in some streets in Glory City, he would definitely not link this man to the Longshan that causes the expressions of others to change just by hearing his name. If this Longshan wants to run, although Niley can use the 10,000 demonic beast array to stop him, it wouldn't be very effective. Since the opposite party is so confident, Niley won't be polite. He'll use all of the strength of the 10,000 demonic beast array. Tens of thousands of black gold rank demon spirits quickly converged into a terrifying energy, turning into a scarlet gold giant palm and headed towards Longshan. Longshan, careful. Don't underestimate this 10,000 demonic beast array. Longshan quickly reminded him. Longshan coldly snorted and said, I don't believe that this array will be able to do anything to me. He will soon step into the pinnacle of legend rank. He has a pure dragon blood body and has all kinds of treasures to protect him. Why would he be afraid of this array? He just wants to test the power of this 10,000 demonic beast array. Everyone that stepped into legend rank would feel that they stepped into the pinnacle of this world. In their view, legend rank is equivalent to a god. At least in the level of humanity, they have become supreme existence. This kind of confidence of standing in the pinnacle isn't something that can be shaken by the 10,000 demonic beast array. Niley understands the thoughts of these legend rank experts. When facing a powerful opponent, they would want to try and have a test to verify their strength. Seeing Longshan's unparalleled power under the sky's gaze, the corner of Niley's lips formed into a smile. This Longshan is the same as he was when he reached legend rank. At that time, he disdained everything under the sky, feeling that he was an unparalleled existence and caused trouble everywhere. However, he never imagined that he would be chased by several demon beasts, run all over the world, and unintentionally enter into the space in the temporal demon spirit mode. After that incident, he understood the meaning that knowledge is infinite. There is always someone stronger than himself. Since that's the case, then taste my strike. Niley's eyes burst forth with light, controlling the array and pushed his palm out with a low growl. This palm contained all of the strength of the 10,000 demonic beast array. Pushing the palm forward, the sky went into chaos and the land became shrouded in darkness, covering the sun and moon. That terrifying pressure was like a wave that was heading for Longshan. Sensing this terrifying power, Longshan's brow slightly twitched. This is the most powerful energy he has ever faced since reaching legend rank. Glad you've come. Longshan still didn't have any fear, and gathered all of the energy in his body. The muscles on his body bulged, making his size grow by several times. A huge tail grew out from his back. His shoulder blades were torn apart as a pair of flesh wings grew from his back and he pushed the palm forward. As a legend rank expert, if he had to shrink back because the opponent is powerful, then he wouldn't be able to improve his cultivation in his entire life anymore. The demon spirit Longshan integrated with his golden winged dragon demon spirit, a creature from the genuine dragon lineage, much stronger than Yezo's black-scaled earth dragon. I'll take a look at how powerful your 10,000 demonic beast array really is, said Longshan. He has a powerful body from the dragon tribe. Naturally, he doesn't think that the 10,000 demonic beast array will be able to harm him. Disclaimer. Chapter 151, Exchange. Translator, Furia Editor, Furia. The well-dressed youth looked at Niley in shock. This guy is going to buy these scrolls to study them. Right now, inscription masters are extremely rare, not to mention inscription masters that are able to understand legend rank inscription patterns. The youth lightly smiled and forthrightly said, since you like them, I'll give them to you as a gift. Niley took a look at the other party. powerful family, his methods are much higher when compared to Lifu. Tie these onto those that can reach a range of 5,000 meters. 9 time. Niley believed himself to have an encyclopedic knowledge. However, if this youngster has a decent amount of strength and doesn't have a close relationship with Niley, then he can try it turned into shadow claws to counter the hammers. Boom. Mysterious. Aside from the few who have heard of it, there is basically no one else that knows of its existence. After a human reaches the pinnacle of legend rank, he or break-flowed youth should have reached at least pop, sure. An apex expert speaks with it be enough to charm countless glee converged into a terrifying energy, turning into a scarlet gold giant palm and headed towards Long Shack. Long Shack, careful. Don't underestimate this 10,000 demonic beast array. Gooey Shack quickly reminded him. Long Shack only snorted and said, I don't believe that this array will be able to do anything to me. He will soon step into the pinnacle of legend rank. He has a pure dragon blood body and has all kinds of treasures to protect him. Why would he be afraid of this array? He just wants to test the power of this 10,000 demonic beast array. Everyone that stepped into legend rank would feel that they stepped into the pinnacle of this world. In their view, legend rank is equivalent to a god. At least in the level of humanity, they have become a supreme existence. This kind of confidence of standing in the pinnacle isn't something that can be shaken by the 10,000 demonic beast array. Niley understands the thoughts of these legend rank experts. When facing a powerful opponent, they would want to try and have a test to verify their strength. Seeing Long Shack's unparalleled power under the sky's gaze, the corner of Niley's lips formed into a smile. This Long Shack is the same as he was when he reached legend rank. At that time, he disdained everything under the sky, feeling that he was an unparalleled existence and caused trouble everywhere. However, he never imagined that he would be chased by several demon beasts, run all over the world, and unintentionally enter into the space in the temporal demon spirit. After that incident, he understood the meaning that knowledge is infinite. There is always someone stronger than himself. Since that's the case, then taste my strike. Niley's eyes burst forth with light, controlling the array and pushed his palm out with the low ground. This palm contained all of the strength of the 10,000 demonic beast array. Pushing the palm forward, the sky went into chaos and the land became shrouded in darkness, covering the sun and moon. That terrifying pressure was like a wave that was heading for Long Shack. Sensing this terrifying power, Long Shack's brow slightly twitched. This is the most powerful energy he has ever faced since reaching legend rank. Glad you've come. Long Shack still didn't have any fear, and gathered all of the energy in his body. The muscles on his body bulged, making his size grow by several times. A huge tail grew out from his back. His shoulder blades were torn apart as a pair of flesh wings grew from his back and he pushed the palm forward. As a legend rank expert, if he had to shrink back because the opponent is powerful, then he wouldn't be able to improve his cultivation in his entire life anymore. Demon Spirit Long Shack integrated is a golden blue dragon demon spirit, a creature from the genuine dragon lineage, much stronger than Yezo's black scale earth dragon. I'll take a look at how powerful your 10,000 demonic beast array really is, said Long Shack. He has a powerful body from the dragon tribe. Naturally, he doesn't think that the 10,000 demonic beast array will be able to harm him. Great translation quality. Chapter 187, Confrontation. Translator, Area Editor, period. Niley's eyes slightly narrowed. In this palm, he is using the 10,000 demonic beast array at full power, without preserving any strength. Boom. The heavens and earth shook as this terrifying sound turned into wave and swept throughout the surrounding area. In an instant, everyone underneath this power were in a complete mess from the shock wave, and the surrounding buildings were cracking and falling apart. Such terrifying energy. This isn't the power that a human can reach. Yezone and the other black gold rank experts' expressions changed. Any one of them would instantly turn into dust when facing such power alone. When Long Shack came into contact with this power, his face instantly turned ghastly pale. The skin on his arm had split open, exposing torn muscles. This power is capable of thoroughly destroying his dragon physique. Since he was about to be engulfed by these raging waves of energy, Long Shack immediately activated the few treasures he has on hand. Each treasure he used turned into ashes. These treasures were given to him by the Demon Lord when he had reached legend rank, including the Divine Guardian Armor, Darkness Shield, and many others. However, when these items canceled a portion of the 10,000 10,000 demonic beast arrays power, they instantly turned into ashes. Longshan never imagined that the power of the 10,000 demonic beast array would reach such a pinnacle degree, even a few legend rank treasures were unable to protect him. Longshan was sent flying several hundred meters before he was able to stop. His chest heavily moved up and down to catch his breath. His clothes were torn to pieces by the explosion and his body was full of wounds. He was in a very sorry state. If he didn't sacrifice a few pieces of legend rank treasures, Longshan would have probably died. Even though his strength is at legend rank, he was unable to withstand a single blow from the 10,000 demonic beast array without assistance. A trace of fear flashed across Longshan's eyes. He overestimated his own strength. Yezode and the rest did not expect Longshan to be so powerful. If he's the number 2 in the Dark Guild and is already building such strength, then just what kind of existence is the Dark Guild's strongest demon lord? Longshan held onto his chest. That ghastly pale face had a trace of respect as he said, "This 10,000 demonic beast array is indeed something. If it wasn't for the treasures that I used to protect myself, I would have probably been turned into ashes. Since I have withstood a strike from you, I will wait with the demon lord for your visit at the Dark Guild. In 3 months' time, if you still have not visited us by then we can only come personally to invite you." Finished speaking, Longshan grabbed a hold of Kunisha and flew away, disappearing into the sky in just a blink. Looking at Longshan and Kunisha's escaping figures, Niley narrowed his eyes. If he continued to utilize the 10,000 demonic beast array, he can still force Longshan and Kunisha to remain. However, if he were to kill Longshan and Kunisha, then Niley would be worried that the demon lord of the Dark Guild would come personally. If Longshan is already strong to this extent, then the demon lord must be even more formidable. Furthermore, he's most likely a supreme expert that has undergone several spiritual constellations. His strength might even be above Yemo's. If he found out that Longshan and Kunisha were killed, he might go crazy and that could put Glory City in an even more dangerous crisis. Right now, Longshan became a little afraid of his strength and has appointed the time frame of 3 months. He will then deal with it 3 months later. Although 3 months is a little short, it's sufficient for Niley to raise his strength by several levels. Furthermore, Lord Yanemo should also return by that time. Longshan mistook him for an expert that has undergone spiritual constellation reincarnation several times, which is why he has a little fear towards Niley. Since he has already appointed the time of 3 months, then he, naturally, won't go against it. Niley's brows twitched as he inwardly thought to himself, then let's meet 3 months later. Yezode, Yeshu, and the others landed beside Niley. Yezode sighed, that Longshan is at least a 3-star legend rank expert. Above him, there's still the demon lord with unpredictable strength. If these people attack Glory City, I fear that we'll have a very hard time stopping them. Fear still lingered in the hearts of Yeshu and the rest. That one strike that Niley launched was strong to an astonishing degree. However, it's still not able to kill Longshan. Longshan's strength is truly too shocking. As for that mysterious demon lord, he is even more unimaginable. We're afraid of the Dark Guild, so are they. Over on our side, we have Lord Yezode and Yanemo who have reached legend rank. If we were to really engage in a life and death struggle, they would suffer heavy losses as well, said Niley. Niley, are you really not a spiritual constellation expert? Yezode's gaze fell onto Niley. Previously in Niley and Longshan's conversation, Yezode more or less understood what was being said. A person that utilizes the spiritual constellation technique would have to suffer the eternal torture of having their souls burned every night. Who would use this kind of demonic technique? I'm only more intelligent than others, and unlock the legendary divine knowledge. Niley hurriedly found an excuse. Divine knowledge? Yezode and the rest were a little blank. However, thinking about it again, Niley doesn't look like someone that has undergone spiritual constellation reincarnation before. After undergoing the spiritual constellation reincarnation, one will become closer and closer to the pinnacle of legend rank. As long as they are able to step through that stage, they will be able to reach an even higher realm. I believe that the demon lord should have already been infinitely closer to that realm. Niley's gaze became deep. This mysterious demon lord made Niley feel a huge amount of pressure. If he wished to protect Glory City, then he has to defeat the demon lord. He has to quickly think of a way to raise his cultivation. Yezode, Yeshu, and the rest looked into the distance. The crisis that Glory City is facing is even larger than they had imagined. Yezode now understands why Yanemo would have his brows knitted together and filled with anxiety every time he comes back. Although Yezone has no idea where he goes, he knows that he is monitoring the Dark Guild's actions, while exploring some secret realm, and was letting Glory City have more capital to fight against the Dark Guild. The Sacred Family was annihilated and the Dark Guild had retreated. For Glory City, it's still more or less a good thing. Looking around, after going through a major battle, this place was now a total mess. The losses of the experts from the other families is still very large. However, Yezone can handle these aftermath matters. The time limit is 3 months. Niley's heart is still filled with urgency. Between him and the Dark Guild, there will definitely be a battle. This Demon is in existence at the pinnacle of legend rank. A few thousand miles away, deep in the mountains, Longsha landed with Cody Shack, leaving footprints in the snow. Longsha, how are you, please? Asked Cody Shack. Longsha is someone that has the physique from the dragon bloodline. However, after the strike from the 10,000 demonic beast array, he was suffering from heavy injuries. When he recalled the power of the 10,000 demonic beast array, Cody Shack felt the fear lingering in his heart. I never thought that the 10,000 demonic beast array would be so powerful. It almost shattered my soul realm. Longsha said as he bitterly smiled, although I have used 3 legend rank treasures to protect my life, the damage to my body is too big. I estimate that with such injuries, I won't be able to recover even after 2 years. It will also have huge impact to my future cultivation. Longsha held onto his chest as he coughed, spitting out a mouthful of blood, dyeing the pure white snow to a more attention-grabbing red. It's this serious? Koisha said in shock. From the start of my cultivation till today, aside from the Demon Lord, not many people were able to cause harm to me for the past dozen years. I never thought that I would suffer today. I underestimated the might of that 10,000 demonic beast array. Longsha said, in my mind, that 10,000 demonic beast array can kill an ordinary legend rank expert at most. With my methods and physical strength, I was more than enough to handle it. I never imagined that my soul realm would be damaged by it. The person controlling that 10,000 demonic beast array is extremely dangerous. We have to be very careful to guard against it in the future. Longsha said, fear holding in his heart. He was glad that he was able to escape from Glory City. Luckily his physical strength was strong enough, otherwise, he'd have been consigned to eternal damnation at that moment. Okay. Koisha nodded his head. After he recalled everything that happened earlier, he felt the chill run down his spine. Since even Longsha almost died from the 10,000 demonic beast array, he's already lucky enough to have survived through it. We'll return to the Dark Guild and notify the subordinate to not step out without our orders for the next 3 months. When the decision that the Demon Lord comes out from his secluded training, said Longsha. He has a deep fear for Nile, since the opponent could be a powerful spiritual constellation expert. If the other party had pursued after them before the Demon Lord returned, then he'd certainly be dead. Furthermore, his cultivation has been weakened to a tenth of his original, and fears that he might not even be Yezone's opponent. After the two of them rested a while in that location, they hurried back to Dark Guild's headquarters. The longer they remained outside, the more dangerous it was. Because the City Lord's mansion experienced that huge battle, it was in ruins. When the people of Glory City found out that the Sacred Family betrayed Glory City and joined the Dark Guild, they all spurned the Sacred Family, and felt fortunate that the Sacred Family had been annihilated. The Dark Guild members that came to violate Glory City had also retreated. They even heard that 2 experts from the Dark Guild escaped with heavy injuries. Regarding this battle, the topic that most people were on was Nile, who had control of the 10,000 demonic beast array at the time. It was Nile's credit that the Dark Guild was repelled. After experiencing the Demon Beast Horde and the huge battle with the Dark Guild, Nile's prestige in Glory City was only second to Yanemo and Yezone. Many people believe that Nile is going to be the next City Lord that Yanemo and Yezone have been nurturing. Even if he's not the next City Lord, he'll at least be Yezone's son-in-law. As for Yehan, he became the traitor of Glory City and is disdained by everyone. Although the strength of the Dark Guild is still a haze that shrouds everyone's hearts, they still firmly believe that when Lord Yanemo returns, he will naturally have a method to deal with the Demon Lord. The future of Glory City is bright. They will not give up on that hope. Yezone, Yeshiu, and others were dealing with the aftermath, whereas Yami and the rest returned to their families. The first glimmer of dawn shot into Glory City through the mountain range. After experiencing a night of battling, everything returned to peace. The collapsed buildings are currently being rebuilt, and seemed to be shining with new life. Great translation quality. Chapter 188, Journey. Translator, the area editor, Miriam. In Yazim's yard, Niley was sitting cross-legged as he quietly trained. Scenes flashed across his mind, including all the events that happened with Yazim, Xiaoninger and the rest after his return. Now that the sacred family has been destroyed, it can be considered that he accomplished his first wish. No matter how the future turns out, at least everything will be utterly changed. After the sacred family, the Dark Guild is next. The mysteriously hidden Dark Guild and Demon Lord that has been threatening Glory City at every moment. Unless the Dark Guild are annihilated and the Demon Lord killed, Niley won't be able to rest and eat in peace. However, with the normal speed of his cultivation, he won't be able to step into legend rank in a short amount of time. He can only use other methods. Niley had many ideas flashing in his mind, however, they would require him to leave Glory City for a period of time. Aside from raising his cultivation, Niley still wanted to search for the location of the Dark Guild's nest. Niley looked into the sky,